Hello and welcome to the grammar class, students. With me, teacher Talitha D'Souza. Previously, we had learnt about adjectives. What are adjectives? Well, they are words that tell us about a noun, isn't it? They mostly describe the quality or quantity of nouns. For example, we have words like fun, fast, enormous, etc. Okay, so as you have learned previously, you know what adjectives are. So students, today we are going to learn about the degrees of comparison of adjectives, what they are and how to use them. So listen carefully because there is an exciting quiz coming at the end of the class. To start with, we have Joey and Amber, both studying in the same class like you and your friends. So let's begin and see what they have to say. So here comes Joey.
Amber, how was your journey to school this morning?
Well, Joe, it wasn't great actually. I woke up later than usual. So I took the bus because it's quicker than walking. And it's easier than cycling too. But the traffic was busier than usual. So the bus went slower and slower. And the slower the bus moved, the more impatient the people became.
Oh, you poor thing. But there were a lot of comparatives in your story.
Well, students, comparatives are words used to compare two people or things that are different in some way. For example, in the conversation we just heard, we had later and quicker. Amber woke up later than usual and she said the bus was quicker than walking. Some other words to consider would be larger, hotter, and so on. So what is common and evident from these words in the comparative degree is the ER towards the end of the word, like later, quicker, larger, and hotter. You will notice that all these words end with the alphabets ER. Also remember, Amber took the bus that day as it was quicker than walking and easier than cycling because she woke up later than usual that day and didn't want to be late to school. Have you noticed anything common in quicker than, easier than, and later than? Well, it's the word then. We usually use then in comparative sentences after the comparative word. Okay, so we have just seen how to use comparative degree. Apart from that, children, we also have the positive and the superlative degree. Before we get into that, here's a question for you. What is the longest river in the world? Well, the Amazon is a very long river, but the longest river in the world is the Nile. Here, the word longest is a superlative. We use superlative forms to compare one person or thing with several others in a group. So we make superlatives in a similar way to comparatives. But here, the words end in EST instead of ER. So quicker here becomes quickest. We often use them to say which thing or person is the greatest, the biggest, the best, and so on. So if we change words like deep and tall to superlative degree, we get deepest and tallest, like the deepest hole or the tallest boy. Also keep in mind, there are certain words like beautiful or famous, to which EST cannot be added. beautiful can't turn to beautifulest, right? In such cases, we use the word most in superlative degree, and in comparative degree, we use the word more. Like, for example, Brad Pitt is the most famous actor in the world, will be superlative, and comparative will be more famous. Also, students, don't forget to use the before a superlative. For example, the most beautiful or the most famous. So we are done with the superlative degree. Other than the superlative degree, we had also looked at the comparative degree. Now the third and the simplest degree to understand and use is the positive degree of comparison that we are left with. Okay. Now the positive degree of comparison tells us about the quality or the adjective that we can give or denote to a person or thing. Before we take a few examples and see what positive degree of comparison is, I would like to remind you that in the positive degree, we do not use any comparison, okay, like how we did in comparative degree and superlative degree. So for better understanding, let's take a few examples. One of the word we can take is fast. So fast is a positive degree of comparison. If you frame a sentence using fast, you can say cheetahs run fast. So students, can you tell me what is the adjective in this sentence? If you got it as fast, you're absolutely correct. The adjective fast is also your positive degree. Earlier, we had looked at the word larger. So, what is the positive degree of larger? If it is large and comparative degree is larger, what is the superlative degree? Largest. So, in today's class, we have learnt about the 3 degrees of comparison, that is, positive, comparative, and superlative degrees of comparison, and we also learnt its usage. Without any delay, let's go to the quiz. All the best, students. I will present before you an adjective. You have to complete the gap in the sentence with a comparative or superlative degree. Make sure you pause your screen while you write your answers. Once you are done, you may resume playing the video.